What is going on, guys? I'm back on the mic today from Spectral Sound, and I'm doing a live stream where I'm critiquing you guys' music. Now, I've been seeing some other music YouTubers do this a lot recently, and I thought it'd be cool to try it because some people were wanting me to critique their tracks. They're sending me stuff on SoundCloud, and that's perfectly fine. You can do that. I just thought it would be pretty cool to do it on a live stream. So, let's wait for people to get here, and everything's set up on here. They're gonna submit it to me through SoundCloud. That's what's gonna happen. They're just gonna shoot me a message on SoundCloud, and I'm gonna review it there. In fact, while I'm waiting, let me just post on Facebook. That is happening. All right, we got first person. Mr. June. And let me submit the link. On Facebook. There we go. Hey, what's up? Alright, so I'm just gonna wait for people to send tracks so that I can listen to. I don't know if this is gonna take a while or if people are gonna hop on it. I don't know. It appears as though someone has. Two people have. Beautiful. So let's listen to this. First of all, let me check levels, like with this track versus how loud the track is in my voice. Okay, it seems to be pretty okay. Alright, so that's a good song. I like it and how that's going. I like the melodic elements that you threw in there with the plucks and the chords at the end. The sub is very compressed. It's a pretty loud sub. It isn't a heavy dubstep song. Obviously, it's a little lighter than the normal dubstep that I listen to, and like I do listen to this kind of thing, and I've made this kind of thing before. And let's talk about the intro for a sec, because the drop sounds pretty good. Other than the only thing I'd have to say about the drop is that you should get a more steady pattern going because you're switching back and forth with those main basses. There's like two or three that you're kind of sticking with there, and that's fine to do that. But it's a lot. There isn't really a memorable pattern that I'm hearing. Like I should be able to listen to the drop, let's see, two or three times, and then be able to hum the pattern back to myself. There isn't really a specific pattern, so the sounds in there is good. And as far as the mixing, like other than just more mastering, I mean that's fine that it isn't mastered. Not everyone, like, I mean it's loud enough. It's just not really crushed as much as normal dubstep is. But yeah, just kind of developing a pattern. That's what I have to say about this. And the intro sounds good. It's laid out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the intro. It sounds really nice. Alright, so again, that second part of the drop was good, and I guess my suggestion would be just like add in some new sounds, some new basses to keep it interesting and, you know, kept different from the first half of the drop. But other than that, it sounded good, and the exit there with that sub drop was very nice as well. I don't know how long I'm going to be streaming for, maybe a couple hours or so. Track is actually unmastered. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a mastered track. Like, it sounds like the track is, you know, complete as far as elements, but it's decently loud. Like, the loudness level is okay. Just needs to be, you know, compressed and mastered. It's all good. So, I think I was. I don't remember. Man, I'm gonna just go in order of when people send it to me. So let's keep listening. I like this right here. If you're very new to dubstep, then this is very impressive. Like, the whole arrangement of the second drop, where you like didn't have the drums at the first part and is like building up, that was good. You knew what you were doing there. That's good layout. And changing the sounds around, I've seen so many people just take the first drop and move it to the second drop. Like, you changed stuff around, you made it different, which is very good. You did a really good job with the second drop. I also like this part here, where it was like the intro section where you had the melody and everything going. You just brought in like heavier drums and stuff and made it more of a bigger breakdown. That's also a very good job there. So let me just finish up the rest of this track. I love it, man. The nice bit crushed outro. That's very, very good. Just master it, and that's ready, man. It's good. All right, let's see what people are saying. Second dubstep track. That's very impressive. My second dubstep track was a piece of crap. The melody, yeah, melody is good. The link won't work. If it's a private track, you have to make sure you send the private link, because if you click on the track and press share, it'll give you a little private link to copy and paste. So, all right, good stuff, good stuff. Let's move on to here. Let's see, remix of Marshmello and OK's song.
We're dreaming on and on, we're dreaming on and on. We got the windows down, we got the windows down. I'm chasing all of the colors in my head. I wanna be alive. I'm living high. I'm living high, high, high,
Alright, that's really cool. Like you did, this is really original style. Like it is that kind of hybrid trap mix of a dubstep kind of feel, and I like this kind of stuff. This kind of weird stuff. It's really nice. So I'm pretty okay with this. Let me give this intro one more, just a little bit of a listen.
we're dreaming on and on.
Yeah, the vocals. I mean, obviously they're from the original song, but the vocals sound good and they mix pretty well.
We got the window. I'm chasing all of the colors. I'm living high, high, high.
And this transition, even though it sounds like the BPM changed in there, could be wrong, but it sounds like the BPM changed. It sounds pretty okay. Like that transition was pretty good. WIPs. Not sure exactly what that is. If that's like, if you can, I suppose remixes are okay, but you have to have done like a significant change to them, make it kind of your own. Where do you send songs? There is a link in the description to my SoundCloud page where you can just send me a message and I will, with your track linked in it, and I will look at it. Add anything to the intro or keep it the same. I would add some stuff to the intro, like just throw in, some little bleeps, effects, cool stuff to show this is your style, this is something new, this is something fresh. So just throw in just effects and things to make it interesting rather than just the piano chords and the vocals. I mean, the piano chords and the vocals sound good, but just adding more stuff is always, as layers, is always very, very nice. So let's continue. Alright, so obviously like that last part, this is just the first drop, so you probably add more to that, but this outro was very nice. I like the melodic content put into it. Again, I don't know how much was from the original song, but because I don't think I've heard that song, but Yeah, I'm liking how that sounds. Just, add a little more stuff in the intro, like I was saying before, and finish the song, and then, change things around in the second drop. Obviously, don't put the same stuff. Just, make it unique, and it sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. I like it. All right, how do you get links to work? I guess I'll show you that. So work in progress is, yeah, you can submit that. Of course, I won't have as much to say as if you submitted a song. But how you get links to work is, let's say this is my unreleased song right here, and I press share, and then there's this link right there that you can copy, and that's the private link. Otherwise, if you just send the song like in a normal message, then it won't send. You have to send the private link. People saying the drop sounds out of key. Did you hear anything? I didn't hear anything. I can check again. So it was, where was I? Here we go. No. I'm getting mixed up. Hold up. That was, oh, new stuff. Okay. Or was I? Yeah, here we go. Play, internet. It's not wanting to play. I didn't hear anything out of key. It sounded okay to me, but I don't know. It sounded fine. So here we are. It says like they're red or something like that. I don't know why, but that's gonna get confusing later.
Do you hear the sound?
Yeah, we don't want to do anything to scare your children. That's the last thing we want to do. We don't want to scare anybody.
Okay, right off the bat, I like this song. Like, it sounds really good. That intro with the vocals and everything, that was really good. The pluck was good. The only thing I would say in this part right here, I'd say continue with those hi-hat patterns. Just add some percussion, just cool stuff to really fill out spaces, hi-hats and cymbals. That'd be my suggestion there. Alright, so the first thing I would say is the drop doesn't have a ton of impact. Like this part right here is like just as loud as the drop. It doesn't have, I would say reduce the bass of the kick and stuff in the build up and just add more things rising, more elements, more white noise coming out, reverse cymbals, like plucks going upward and, pitching up, just more things rising. And in the part right here, it sounds as though, it sounds like that's just like a little bit too long, that intro there. I can re-listen, but right there is where it should have dropped, right there, but it was just a little bit too long, and that kind of threw me for a loop. Like I was planning to hear the drop hit right there, but then it didn't, so it was a little strange. So I'd suggest fixing that and just make it hit a little earlier. Maybe put a pre-drop vocal, a drum fill or something. Also, the basses right here, they're really cool. Don't get me wrong. I like the basses right there. But they're a little bit out of place compared to the first part of the drop. And it's not that they don't fit, like they do kind of fit, but the best way to kind of mix it together is just take some of those basses and hint them in the first part. Just put small like blips here and there as fills, kind of fills like right at the end of a 4-bar. Put that that wah bass or something, and then it won't sound out of place. It'll make the drop flow a little better. Also, it also sounded like that part right there ended a little early. I suppose just make the drop a little longer. As far as layout. Let me just have one last listen to this so I can hear like where everything goes. Okay, here's the second part. Yeah, I guess the drop in general is just a little short. Like, I would have maybe doubled the length and just made it a little more interesting. For a first dubstep song, it is pretty good. You can have the sub playing if it's trap. But, I mean, this isn't trap. I know. But you can. It isn't always as good, but you can. Alright, so let me just finish this up. Heavy sub. Okay, obviously, you know, the same thing here, just make the fill a little shorter and do the cut the sub for the kick. But that was better how you made it like drop down as the kick was rising. Do that little that was pretty good. And also what you did here where you delayed the drums and bass and stuff. Alright, so you kept the sub playing there. I think it was kind of missing element like a melody or something. Like something else playing a nice melody. Also in this middle area after the second drop, it needed more melody than just a little pluck thing. Like the pluck thing was good, but it needed something else. Melodic to go along with it. Like not super melodic, just something playing a lead. Like Barely Alive does. He ends his drop with this. It goes right into this lead and it just carries you beautifully through the rest of the drop. So it's really nice. There is a little too much noise in the snare in my opinion. However, I know a lot of people who like really bright, really noisy snares. It just depends on the style. Me personally, I like to have a lot of, bright sparkle to my snares, but I don't really like it to decay that long. But anyway, overall good. It just needs a little more work. Your messages aren't showing up here. Let me refresh. All right, did that help? I don't know. Hope you like it, even though it might sound like crap compared to the other tracks. But I've been producing for only around 1 year. Give me some real critique, though. I don't mind. I made leaves myself. Alright, let's give it a listen. Good.
I feel that something is coming into my life. This feeling I can't deny. And I'm always wondering why. I close my eyes and see there's something that's coming I can't describe. It is always about the time. It is waiting to come inside of me. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright.
Okay, first of all, that intro was very nice. I like how that intro, where you put those chords and the vocal, sounded very nice. The build up went very good. I don't have any complaints there. So doing good so far. Alright, so the drop, I like how you laid things out. I like that melody. It's very nice, and like the chords in the background. First off, the drums don't come through the mix. I'd suggest a lot more side chaining, especially for this melodic nature. You need a good side chain that really ducks everything down so the kick can punch through, and then the big heavy chords come in. It won't just give your drums more power, it'll give everything else more power as well. And I know it doesn't make a lot of sense how it would give chords power, but it really, really does if it goes to the beat. Also, the lead is a little bit loud. It's just a little loud. I would turn it down a bit, but other than that, it sounds okay. Also, in this last part, I would put in the vocal, like the pre-drop, a bit of the vocal like you did before. That would kind of really connect the song and make it flow a little better. Overall, sounds pretty good though. I like it. Alright, that's very nice. I like how that went. You had the little delay there, and that went very well. It went pretty good. Also, the glitchy kind of sounds that you have in this main drop here, I forgot to mention this. Those sound pretty good. They don't sound out of place. They're mixed in okay. They're good. I like how that went. And the nice fade outro here. Like that went very well.
I feel that something is coming into my life. This feeling I can't deny. And I'm always wondering why. I close my eyes and see there's something that's coming I can't describe. It is always about the time. It is waiting to come inside. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright.
Yes, I do believe it is melodic dubstep, but what you did here, where you had that little arc thing rising up as the vocals were coming in, that was really good because it led everyone right into this kind of melodic breakdown part. And you didn't have any sub bass in this part, which normally I'd say that's okay, but it sounded very empty. It's like a really harsh high pass. So what I would do is add just a bit of sub bass. Don't make it as loud as the drop, but just a little bit of sub. It doesn't even have to be a sub. Like if you make a bass sound, just don't high pass it. Make sure the bass isn't as loud as the bass in the drop, because obviously you're going into the build-up. But add a little bit of bass just to fill in some space. So, and then let's hear what you do for this second drop. Alright, so I like that new lead thing you had going in this part. It was a very nice change, you know, from the first drop right there. It was a very nice change. It sounded very nice. You had a little bit of a faster melody going. It led me through a lot better. And now for the overall mix of this track, it doesn't look, even just looking at the waveform, it doesn't seem like it's mastered. Like mastered, you didn't really compress it that hard or like saturate it that hard. So other than just mastering, the bass itself, like not necessarily a sub bass, but in the general low area of the track, sounded a bit loud. It was a bit loud to me. It was a little muddy down in those areas, just the overall track. But it wasn't just like one part. It was kind of the entire thing, which is actually better because you can just put an EQ on the master and just drop down that low mid area, and it should be fine. But overall, I like it. I'm into kind of melodic dubstep. This sort of feel sounds very good to me. So good stuff. All right, got a lot of people here. Oh yeah, those could be vocal chops. I automatically thought it was a lead, but either way, it sounded pretty nice. All right, so here's the next one. Still not mastered yet. That's fine. Oh no, track was not found. I don't know. Did you send the right link? Are you sure? Because it might not be the right link. If I see that you message me again up top, I'll get back to you. But yeah, try resending that. Alright, well this track is obviously loud. Let's have a listen.
Pull up, pull up, pull up. Pull up, pull up, pull up.
We're constantly fighting. I'm trying to deny him. I know that he's right me, but he's always beside me. And he's all that I got. 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 He's all that I got.
That is dope. Like, that's really cool. And people are saying there is like a lot of saturation, a lot of distortion on the track, but I just hear that as that's the style, man. Like that's really good stuff here. I like the sound design, and despite the fact that this looks very crushed, let me go to the drop here.
Pull up, pull up.
There's still like the drop still hits hard, which is very hard to have a song with this little amount of dynamics and still be able to feel the drop and know right when it hits. So that sounds very nice. The mix is like a little bit muddy. I think that's from the general, just how much saturation and how much you've compressed the track. And mainly just there's a certain area, I probably pull up FL just to show you what I would do as far as just general EQing of the track. Okay, it's right here for some reason. Move FL, okay. So here, if I go into EQ, what I would do, there's a general area in here where it doesn't sound all that great. Like, it's critical to make your track sound full, but it's a little too much. Your song sounds like it's a little bit like this. So all I would do is take an EQ and just drop it down a little bit there and raise it up a little bit there. And you'd be surprised how much that cleans up a mix when you do that. Like, don't drop this down too much, just a little bit, and then raise it up. It sounds pretty nice. And maybe a little bit around the mid section as well, because the mid to low mid is pretty heavy. Just a little bit of sculpting, and it sounds really, really good. So I like that. I like that a lot. All right. He said he tried again. Here you are. Yeah. So I just have to remember the next person is grid shift. So awesome. Let me try. Here we are. Alright, I'm going to stop it right there. I know it's probably building up to something bigger. But first off, I like the kind of the vibe you have going here with the intro. But it's going pretty well. It's just very long to not have too much going on. Because there isn't a lot going on. It's very ambient, a lot of Foley, you know, that impact at the beginning and everything. So just kind of speed that up a little bit. Don't make that last for too long because it's just going a little long for me. Skipped your track. I'll get to you in a sec. I'll just finish this one up.
Okay.
Alright, now the drop sounds really cool. I really like how that's going. This 808 thing in the build-up. That part right there. I'd cut all the sub bass from the build-up. I always do. I just cut. You can still have bass, like general low end. Just don't have any sub bass in the build-up until the drop hits. That'll make it hit a lot louder. Also, you have the main lead building up right there, which is fine, but I would like lower it an octave or something, just make it a little bit different because it's kind of giving away a lot of what the drop is, and when the drop hits, there doesn't seem to be too much different. Just sounds like a bigger part of the buildup. So what I would do is maybe lower it down or get like something else playing it, like a really light, you know, little pluck playing the melody, and then just have that rise in right before the drop a little bit. just to kind of prepare, because it's very, the drop, I hear the drop coming, which is good. I know exactly what it is with that melody. However, it gives away a little too much, so I would change that. Also, for everyone saying that I skipped them, I have not skipped them. I'm going back down to here. He had just submitted one a while ago, and it didn't work, so I'm doing his right now, and then I'll go back to where everyone else is. And the basses are really cool. Like, I like the basses. The basses sound very nice.
Okay.
Alright, so that drop into the build-up was a little bit short, I think. Like, if it would be made a little bit longer, maybe put a little more of, like, Foley ambience in there. And, again, if you're going to use the lead, I'm going to check to see if you use the lead in the second drop. But if you did use the lead in the second drop, then I wouldn't suggest using it so much here, because it's going to get very repetitive being in the first drop, like the build-up, the first drop, the breakdown, and the build-up to the second drop, and the second drop. That'd be a lot. So, yeah. Also, I'd consider adding something like kind of a subtle ARP in the background, just to go like dun 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 dun, like just a little light melody going in the background to fill in space, especially in the second part of the drop, because that'll do wonders to the track. It'll make it sound different, even though a person wouldn't really notice the ARP at first. It will definitely be subconscious, so that's what I'd suggest there. So you did end up, there was more basses in the drop, but there was still that lead coming in, and that lead is fine, but you just need it less in this breakdown and build up from the second drop to the last drop. And the melody itself isn't the thing that's getting repetitive, it's just the lead sound. It constantly being in the same octave and constantly doing the same thing. So if you had another sound coming in and doing that, like a pluck or something, then it would be better. Just, kind of cut down on the use of that lead, because it's very nice. It just can't be too repetitive, otherwise it'll get boring. So, pretty okay. Do you record streams? Can I watch them after? You can watch them after over, because when you're live streaming on YouTube, handy dandy, it goes right into my videos. So, yes, you can watch it again. That was the difference between streaming here and streaming on Twitch. On Twitch, it was kind of a pain. I don't know why I did that. But I'm streaming on YouTube now. Yeah, they automatically post them as videos. Alright, let's go to Grid Shift here. See what he's got. Alright, well, he sent 2. 29 minutes, 30. I'll listen to the most recent one you sent.
Back to the flow, to the flow, to the flow, to the flow, to the flow. Back to the flow, to the flow, to the flow. Back to the flow.
And just for reference, sorry, I had to pause it. If you want to send 2, wait till I listen to your first one, and then you can send a next one. Don't like send a bunch in one message.
Back to the flow. Bring it back to the. Bring it back to the flow. Bring it back to the. Bring it back to the flow. Bring it back to the. Bring it back to the flow. Bring it back to the. Bring it back to the flow. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back to the flow. Can't control it. Can't control it.
Okay, that drop right there, I like it. Like, it sounds good. However, it came kind of out of nowhere. It doesn't fit the rest of the track. So as you just got to make the intro fit the drop. So this part right here, where you did those big hits 4 times, I would just make it twice. I wouldn't make it that much. And as you're rising up, obviously you have some elements rising, but you just need like the drums to get faster, things to just build up a little more. And then also what I'd suggest, take this, like take those sounds, maybe do a high pass and a low pass, so basically a band pass. So like put a band pass in there and make that slowly like rising up during the intro, so you hear it in the background like, oh, there's some cool stuff going on there. Then once you hit the drop, you get the full amount of that cool stuff, and it makes it really flow. So basically kind of do the small rise of the drop, and don't make it as loud as during the drop. Don't add any of the bass or like anything like that. Just take those sounds and, you know, make them, you know, muffle them up and then have them rising up as the drop comes. So overall, pretty nice. It just needs a bit of mixing there, bit of mixing of the track.
To the flow, rhythm running like I'm charged up, and I'm in zone. Bring it back to the flow, rhythm running like I'm charged up, and I'm hydro. Bring it back to the flow, rhythm running like I'm charged up, and I'm in zone. Bring it back to the flow, rhythm running like I'm charged up, and I'm hydro.
Bring it back to the flow, rhythm running like I'm charged up, and I'm in zone. Bring it back to the flow, rhythm running like I'm charged up, and I'm hydro. Bring it back to the flow, like charged up, in zone. Bring it back to the flow, rhythm running like I'm.
That was lit, like that part right there. I really like that. How you mix the sounds in with the vocal chops. That was really good. That's good stuff right there.
Back to the, bring it back to the flow. Bring it back to the, bring it back to the flow. Bring it back to the, bring it back to the flow. Bring it back to the, bring it back to the flow.
Just want to listen to this part here to see what it is. Okay, well, that last part with the noise was weird. I would take that out, just leave it at the... and stop it there, and that'd be good. You don't need the rest of that. That's a little weird. Obviously, the layout is strange. There's only one drop, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because it isn't a layout that's like, you're not overdoing it. Like, there's not too much going on. It's not too long. But I'd suggest kind of just shortening the intro, making the outro, you know, this little breakdown come a little quicker, and then rise up into a second drop where you change stuff around, you know, make it kind of a full tune, because there aren't a ton of songs that have one drop. And like I said, it's not necessarily a bad thing, it just depends on style. So yeah, other than that, I think it's really good, this part right here.
Bring it back to the flow, rhythm running like I'm charged up and I'm hydro. Bring it
That's just really good. I really like that. So overall good job. Okay. Well, now I said you could send 2 tracks, and I did say after I've critiqued your first track, and this guy he sent his first track and I listened to it. So technically he's obeying the rules here, so I will give this one a listen. That was awesome. Like, that's really good. I love those basses you have going in there. They mixed well with the chords. Like, that's really good, dude. I really like that. The intro was very good. The way you built up with those claps going and the lead melody went right into the drop. Very good. I don't have any critique to say about that. Like, as of right now, looking great. Very nice, very nice. I'm trying real hard to find something, like, you know, to critique this, like, find stuff to change, like, give you advice, but it's really good. Like, every time, like, I think, oh, you should do this, then you do it. So you're kind of ahead of me on this one. The only thing, probably in this part right here, that melodic part, it's not boring the way you have it. Like, it's still good. What I would probably do on the second half when the melody repeats, make it more of like a solo, you know, go into the higher register, do some cool, you know, keyboard tricks, you know, make it real nice, and make it feel like someone's actually playing it versus playing the same melody over again. Yeah, you go into the higher register kind of thing, do some nice up and down kind of arpeggiator style stuff, and that'd be really good. But other than that, sounds really, really good. I mean, it still sounds really, really good, but just, you know, that'd be what I'd do. Alright, so the second drop is really good. It's very, very similar to the first drop. It could be the same thing. I don't know, you could have changed up the pattern a little bit. But my advice would be to throw in some new sounds, some nice different sounds, like maybe high screeches, kind of plucks or something, just to, because it could be a different drop. You could have changed around the patterns and stuff, but it still sounds very, very similar. So what I would do is add in some more sounds and do something different and make it different from the first drop. So I mean, this still sounds good. Just that's my advice for that. Good melodic breakdown, how the lead kind of faded out with a low pass and the chords did, and bringing the piano in there, it sounded that was a nice outro. It flowed very well. So really nice job on that. All right. Let's go. My laptop, train station, just because I saw your stream. It tips on and you need to finish. All right, drum and bass. Alright, of right now, what I would say is just add like a melody or something in there. Like that intro is a little bit long to me, 1:12. That's it's a little too long for my taste. So what I probably do is shorten it and add a lead or something to make it a little more interesting, kind of let the track flow a little more. Yeah, you got some nice ideas going here. Like it is kind of an experimental kind of drum and bass thing. The drums aren't very like punchy. They aren't really strong, and I'm expecting that's just the style. Like normally when I do drum and bass, I'm into really aggressive drum and bass to where there's a lot going on and like really heavy basses and all that stuff. Obviously this is more experimental, so I'm not really gonna give too much like critique on that side because I'm pretty sure you know it. And it does sound a little bit out of key, so you should fix that. But other than that, and mastering, sounds pretty good. Of course, in the second part of the drop, you should change it around, like add some, change the overall pattern around, like not necessarily repeat the same thing. You should just make it a little different. Maybe add some like drum fills here and there, just to kind of fill out more space. But but so far for the style that you're going for, it sounds pretty good. So. Another great place for a lead melody there, just something to carry the person right out of the drop, just to, lead it right from, all the bass and stuff right into the rest of a little more melodic stuff. You had that arp come in, that arp was very nice. That's a good touch. Just bring a lead in there, and that'll be really, really good. All right, so you brought some more, fast, a little more aggressive drums. Not super aggressive, but a little more, and I like that. The bass is coming in there. You change things up. It sounds pretty nice. Of course, it did catch me a little off guard. Like if you had that drum loop, that fast drum loop, just like slowly rising in volume as the build up is coming, and then once it hits the drop, going up to the normal volume. So you're just getting a little of that in the background, so it doesn't really catch you off guard that much. But overall, it's good stuff. How old am I? I am 16. And someone asking another question. How long are you going to stream? I don't know how long I'm going to stream. I'm not sure, but all the people who I don't get to in the stream, because I don't know if I will get to everyone, I will listen to your track, and I will send a message with my general critique. It might not be as detailed as if it was on the stream. However, I am going to listen to it and tell you what I think of it. So let me finish this up. Alright, so on the second half there, again, just kind of, changing sounds, changing it around, adding more interesting stuff, maybe some more effects, just like drum fills, things like that. But overall, for the style you were going for, I said you did it. What am I talking about? I think I think you did it pretty good. And obviously, it's not cranked through the master that hard. I would say just, master it, make it a lot louder, add some distortion, like saturation stuff on the master, and that'd sound pretty good. So, alright, let's move on to Benda. Still needs a pre-drop, okay? Alright, that sounds very nice. I'm really liking the way that sounds, especially that lead right there in the beginning. That's really, really good stuff. The one thing I'd have to say here is, other than adding a pre-drop, is the part right here. When you go into like the second half of this part of the drop, I would say take the same bass. You know, you have the same bass playing that pattern. I would take that bass and just change it up a little bit, like change the modulation. If it's like a wavetable in like Serum or something, like change the wavetable position, just make it a little bit different, change a little bit of stuff around so it's generally the same sound, but a little bit different. You can hear the kind of thing that I'm talking about in my recent track I posted. It was like my first song in Ableton. It's not my best work, but it shows a good example of what I did there, where I took the main bass and I just changed it up a couple times to keep it interesting. But other than that, very nice. I like how that's sounding. The master sounds pretty nice, pretty clean. Good stuff, good stuff. Let's see what people are saying. Talking about DAWs. Shut up, phone. Alright. Yeah. Talking about Ableton versus FL. It all depends on the person. Let's go to whew. Alright. Well, I'm gonna listen to this last one you sent like I did with the other one. Or is this all the same? No, it's all the same. Okay. That's weird. Alright, before I get into the rest of that, I want to say it is the off key, the piano and the other synth sound are not in the same key. It's not, you should fix that up. Also, the clap is getting pretty repetitive after a while, and it's a little too loud. Like, I mean, it does do the kind of fade out in the volume there, But I would suggest not fading out in volume, fade out in like a filter or something, because it makes it sound like the track itself is kind of fading out at that point because there isn't a ton going on. Like it needs to use like pads, chords, the more like, I know there's piano chords, but like synth chords, and arps, stuff to really fill out space, some more effects, some sweeping effects, maybe hi-hats and cymbals, there's just a lot of stuff to be filled out there. If this was a video where I was doing this, I would edit a part of Ace to Aces saying, gotta add that sub bass. Don't forget the sub bass. There isn't any sub bass in the song. You should add sub, like with those chords or something, just to fill it out, because it's very empty so far. You could even see from the waveform there isn't a ton going on. It needs sub bass. So yeah. And changing that chord, like it's the same chord the whole time. You should change it up, make a chord progression versus just the same chord going on and on. So alright, I'm just gonna answer this guy's question because I kept forgetting to just a second ago. He's asking if I can do drop style like Lit Lord or Say My Name. I don't think I do that in a video. Like, that's not really a style that I do. It's, I don't know. I don't think I would. Also reverb, like adding reverb to stuff will fill out a lot of space too. I don't think there's any reverb or delay or anything like that on any of these, so adding reverb would also help a lot. My SoundCloud is in the description. Okay, and at that point, I'd also just adding like a lead, just a lead synth, even or like a pluck or something, just playing a melody, because it gets rather boring after a while having the same thing playing. So just adding, the main thing so far for all this is just to add more elements, like just throw in more stuff, make it thicker, make it, you should be able to look at the project and see some more things going on, and that doesn't necessarily, having a lot of things going on doesn't necessarily mean that the track is full. You should just add a lot more, stuff. In this particular situation, I don't know what I'm trying to say. This particular situation, adding more stuff is going to fill it out the way you need it for. Just editing what you have here won't necessarily make it full. You need to add more elements on top of it. So yeah. Alright, so basically just kind of the same stuff I was saying. This is 3 minutes and 42 seconds of a lot of the same stuff. Not saying that your song is bad here, it just needs work. Like you had the idea. The idea is there and you're working on it. So I'm not going to say your song was crap, because it's not. I just said it needs a lot more stuff, just just keep working on it. That's all I can say right there. So let's see who else. All right, Instinct. Here we go. I think I saw this on another live stream that someone was critiquing, and I remember it being very good. So let's have a listen. Alright, so I really like that intro. It's really good. Sounds like Evil Wave or Panda Eyes or something like that. The lead sounds pretty nice. Pretty good. In this breakdown part right here, as it's going up to the, like going up and building up and stuff. Now this is just me, something that I like to do. Not everyone does this, and it's perfectly acceptable to do what you did here. What you did here was fine. Just like, if I were doing it, what I would have done is taken like a pluck sound, just a high little pluck, maybe kind of bellish or something like that, and just lower the level, put it in the background, playing just a little riff. Like, it doesn't even have to be a specific melody from another part of the track. Like, it could be this melody right here, or it could just play something kind of subtle, just a few notes here that kind of go with the progression, just to keep things interesting. And like I said, you did it fine right here. Like, it's still good. That's just something that I like to do, and it adds for a pretty nice breakdown. So let's hear this thing. Alright, so I'm liking the sound you have here. It's a very like kind of detuned, gnarly style, which matches the intro, that kind of Evil Wave feeling. So I like it. It's very nice. What I would do is probably add like an ARP or something in the background, just to make sure, just like a just something to kind of keep it doesn't even have to be loud. Just something in the background to where if you're listening for it, you can hear it. Because I was trying to listen for some kind of ARP and I wasn't finding any. So either it's really low or you didn't put one in there. So I just put an ARP to where if you're listening for it, you can hear it. But if you're not, then the bass is still the main thing. So leaving it at that. The melodic fills in there were very nice. There's nice song structure going on right there. So good job as far as that. And let's keep listening. Yeah, I just want to check something. Alright, so I'm really liking the sounds in there. There's some good screeches going on. It was a lot different from the first drop. It was surprising, yet it wasn't out of place. Like, it sounded pretty nice, so you did a good job with that there. Alright, so very, very good track. General mixing stuff, I'd say the sub bass is a little quiet. Turn it up just a little bit, not too much, but in my opinion, the sub bass is just a little quiet. So, yeah, other than that, pretty good trap, man. Did I skip yours? What is your triangle over here? What is your artist name? Because I don't think I jumped anyone. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna listen to this one because apparently I opened his on accident. So sorry about that. At least I'm still doing it in the live stream. Alright, so that's a really cool drop. Like that's some really weird kind of wacky trap sounds. So I like it. Like I said, I like those kind of trap styles. I think those are really cool. It's got nice the mixing in general. I'd say the 808 is just a little bit loud. That's just my opinion. Like it, or maybe just the melodic content. Just stuff needs to be brought up a little bit, like that lead and stuff. I don't know, maybe just either one would probably work. Just make sure it's nice and loud. So let me just one last time. Like that part right there sounded pretty good. You had the rising element. It was like the wet of the reverb. Like it sounded pretty nice. And that build up was good too. Like you built it up well. So overall sounding pretty good so far. I like those basses.
This is Bern Nibelheim.
Alright, so again, I like it. It sounds cool. One thought I had, this could go for the first drop as well. In the second half, bring the lead up an octave. That in itself could just make things a lot more interesting and really hype on that part.
Hello, this is Bern Nibelheim.
like that. I don't know exactly what he's saying there, but that vocal fill worked out pretty good. And you like just changed the melody and stuff around a little bit there. The lead itself is used throughout the whole thing, like throughout almost the whole thing, when when it's down and stuff like that. I'd say just take it out in some parts, or just like make it fall down during this part right here so you don't hear it, and then rise back up for the drop, just to give your ears a break from kind of the same stuff. But Blow Evil Blind.
Hello, this is Burn Nibelheim.
Sounds like Blow Is It Burn Eagle Hind. I don't know.
Hello, this is Burn Nibelheim.
I don't know, but I like it. I think it's cool. But yeah, overall, just change the lead up, higher in the higher register there. That'll help a lot, and maybe not using it throughout the whole time, and obviously like push it through the master a little harder, because you see it isn't compressed that hard. I'd say compress it a lot for this kind of trap. It'd sound really nice, just like I forget who it was, him. He did a very good job with that. So yeah, good stuff. All right. Who said that I skipped theirs? Hang on. You jumped mine. I can give it to you. Oh, you didn't tell me who you were. I'm sorry, I don't think I skipped you. But yeah, saturation. So, did I already? No, I didn't. Okay, I don't know why it said it was red. But okay. That's okay. Like I said, if I don't get to the track on the live stream, I will listen to it and give you feedback later on it. It might not be as detailed as it is on the stream. However, I will listen to it and tell you what I think.
Let it be today, when you reach out and break. See the landscape flashing by. Don't you cry.
Alright, so let me address this intro here. The intro itself is, I think generally throwing those bass things in there was okay. They just lasted a little longer, so I'd use them as fills instead of doing it as much as you did. At the end of every 4 bars or whatever, just throw a small bass fill. It doesn't have to be a long bass fill, just something small. And keep the melody going above that or something, because it was kind of losing melodic content when you cut the melody and came in with the bass. Also, it needs a little more effects, some sweeps and risers and just general sound effects going on there would sound very, very nice. The drums are a bit loud. So, or not necessarily the drums, just those hi-hats and cymbals and stuff. They're a bit loud, so I just turn those down a bit and it'll help mix with the rest of the track. Alright, so let's get to the drop.
Don't you cry.
Alright, so the sound design isn't that modern. It isn't a lot of modern sound design, and I'm not going to say update your sounds, because there's a lot of artists, and maybe you, who like using older style sounds. I personally like old style sounds. That's the first kind of dubstep I was into. So I am pretty okay with that kind of music. Like I'm like, yeah, that's good. I can dig this. I'm not like, nah, it needs newer sounds. Like you need to keep it modern. So I'm not gonna tell you that. Now I don't know how many people right now would be into this style. However, I think I say it's pretty okay. Now the drums are not very heavy. They're very light drums. And it doesn't give the drop a lot of impact. The drop is not very strong. It doesn't have a lot of energy. You can even see in the waveform. I didn't really know when the drop starts. It starts about here, but I didn't know when it started just because I can't see it. You should be able to see it in the waveform. Unless like the entire thing is crushed, then that is a little bit different. You may be like compressing too much, but overall you should be able to see when the drop hits or kind of around when the drop hits in the waveform right here. So just make like, punchier, heavier drums in my opinion. That would be very good. Hang on just a sec, I want to hear this. Alright, so the vocal thing in here sounded a little off key. It's like the vocals that you used weren't in the key that you were in. At least like the root note may have been the same, just like the progression in general didn't really match. It sounded out of key, kind of thing is what I'm saying. So I don't know if like you recorded sample yourself or you found the sample somewhere else, but it wasn't quite in the right key there. You should fix that. And generally it's just the same kind of thing as I had for the first drop, the same kind of comments. Alright, I'm probably going to wrap it up at 6 o'clock. So after this track, I may do one more. I'll see like how long this takes. I don't know. Seems like melodic dubstep. It is similar to melodic dubstep. I wouldn't call it melodic dubstep, but it's a lot more chill than a lot of other genres. Alright, yeah, this just the same basic thing before as the drop, maybe add in some different sounds, make it a little more interesting. You did have one sound in here. That sound, that really happy sound. And I don't know exactly how I feel about that. I don't like it that much, but if you like it, if that's the style kind of thing you're going for, then you can keep it. I just personally don't really dig it that much. Alright, yeah, just make I kind of said what I already really need to say about this track. The idea is definitely there. It just needs, the drums need to be a little heavier, a little more punchy, and maybe a little more side chaining along with that now that I think about it. But yeah, more some more sounds going, make the drop have a little more impact, just keep it a little more interesting. So overall, you got a good thing going here. I think this is going to be the last track. So I know there are a lot of people waiting. I'm sorry I couldn't get to your track on the stream. I'll see. I'll have a listen to them when I can, and I'll get back to you about what I think. So let's see. Okay. 3-hour challenge for myself. This is where I came out. Was one. All right. So let me listen to this. 3 hours. Alright, for 3 hours, I know you have more to go, but for 3 hours, that's pretty impressive. I couldn't do that in 3 hours. If you've seen my live streams, I am slow as hell at making music, but overall, it's pretty good. There are some parts in here where that main sound, there is like no mid to it, so either add some mid, like boost the mid section here, or add some other sounds. Like what I like to do is add a stadium crowd noise in the background. That fills in a lot of space, especially in the midsection, just because it's very bright. Like the drums are very bright and the bass is very strong, but it doesn't sound that powerful because there isn't a lot of mid in there. So that'd be what I'd say there. So, and to answer your question or your request here, everything that is submitted to me here, I will listen to, and I will comment back. Alright, so, I mean,
Want to
again...
make money from your music? Click the banner now and sign up for it.
Dang it. But, yeah, I mean, it is in 3 hours, so it kind of ended abruptly there. That's fine, I get it. But, again, the thing with the midsection, there wasn't a lot going on in the mid. I didn't think I heard a lot of... Like, there isn't a lot of hi-hat action either. Like, I mean, I'm hearing a bit there, but just some kind of maybe percussion, a little more hi-hats to just make them louder, to beef up the drop a little bit, and it sounds nice, and maybe just change the sounds up. Like I said, I'm trying to keep in mind that you only had 3 hours to do this, but I'm just going to critique it like it's a normal track, and yeah, just add some more sounds, make it a little bit different, some variation in the sounds, and the idea is there, and it's pretty okay. It just needs more stuff added to it right there. So I think I'm going to leave it at that right there. I'm sorry if I didn't there were a lot more people wanting me to hear their stuff than I had originally thought there would be. There is a lot, so I will get back to all of you on that. So let's see. Alright, thank you for stopping by in the stream. You can watch the stream after it's done. Some people were asking about that. So, yeah, let me get this going. I don't know if I'll do a 3-hour challenge. I'd probably suck at it, but either way, I don't know if I'll do that. I might. It's an idea, but we'll see. All right, I think I'm about ready. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video or stream or well, whatever I'm going to do next. Peace out.